Hello, interpersonal class. Welcome to my tutorial video on how to access the Media Center databases. So in this assignment, you're going to be asked to come up with a pro-con article and you're going to evaluate both sides. Why does this relate to perception? Well, there are a lot of issues in the world that people use perception or their perceptive abilities to try to answer. And some issues are called conundrums, where there's no necessarily right and wrong answer all the time, or at least it's not black and white. And so what we do is we try to use our perception to kind of answer that. If you ever watched court TV, something like a Judge Judy, you would see that people come in and it's usually about the same event or sequence of events, and they have disagreement about what happened. And so that leads them to their own opinions and their own conclusions, and they need somebody like Judge Judy to help arbitrate that and figure out what they're going to do. So for this assignment, you're going to do sort of the same thing. You have to be able to access groups and the Schoology databases that we have for our school. So you can see on here that I clicked over here on the left and found LSHS Media Center. And I went in here, and it's going to have this great page right here. Some information from Mary Casterly-Smith, who's our new Media Center expert. So she's going to give you lots of information, but we don't need to listen to her today. We're going to go to the resources, and we're going to go to the LSHS databases. And so you can see in here there's lots of databases, lots of links. What you need to pay attention to is that you can see that the LSHS Media Center database passwords is the first link that's on there. If you're at home, you're going to need that. It's going to help you log into the database I tell you. Now that you can use that link to look and see what the password is. You're going to look for the password for facts on file databases. That's this one. And then you need to link yourself to the Issues and Controversies database, and that's going to open up in Schoology like this. It's going to ask you for a password. You type in the username, which I can tell you is capital L Lakeville. The password is available for you to look at. And then you're going to log in. And then at that point, you're going to see this website, which just has tons and tons of issues in American life. You can see there's tons. If you don't want to spend too much time looking, there's some recent ones up here that you can look at that are sort of impacting our world right now. But if you care to look at different topics, you can look in this. And then you're just going to kind of pick an area. So let's just say I pick cash for grades. What's cash for grades? Unlike most countries, the United States has no national education system. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then there's some pro-con articles. And so what you can see here is a list of questions with pros and cons to each one. So as I scroll through these and look, there are questions. I'm going to click this one just for the sake of the video. Cash for grades. Should public schools adopt cash for grades programs? And then there's supporters and opponents. So this is a nuanced question that has lots of potential positives and negatives. And so your job is going to be to summarize in your own words what people have to say. Here's what the supporters have to say, and there's an article you can read. Cash for grades. Should we pay kids that get good grades? And here are the reasons why that's a good thing. And then you can click opponents, and you can read reasons why people say it's a bad thing. So then you're going to summarize those articles on your worksheet. And at the end, you're going to come up with your own conclusions. There's going to be some conclusions you can look at, but you need to make your own decision. So you'll do that. You'll find an article that has supporters argue, opponents argue, and you're going to summarize those arguments through this website, Issues and Controversies database and facts on file. And you're going to type that stuff into your document. And then you're going to have to come up with a conclusion and basically, how do you see it? How do you perceive? What is your perceptions on the issue? So you can choose any question you want, but it has to have a supporters argue, an opponents argue, and you have to explain what you think. And you'll do that in your class. So not in groups anymore. Go back to your courses, and it'll be in the week 6 folder. If you have any questions, email me, or if you're in Ms. Roth's class, email her. Good to see you.